Hello.
Yo, what's going on, buddy?
Going good.
Did you win your 32-minute long game where you played Terran battle cruisers? I saw. Like, I was checking out your profile, and all of a sudden you earned the achievement called Yamato Master Blaster. I don't know what was going on there.
I know I'm Master Blaster.
You're a Master Blaster? Nice.
Yeah, battle cruisers are pretty good.
What did you play against?
But it was funny. I was like maxed out with 20 units or something like that.
Yeah, battle cruisers cost like, how much supply are they? I don't even know.
I don't know, a lot.
they're pretty supply heavy. Anyway, so I was just talking about it. I think last time we talked, you were Diamond League, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. It's been a little while already. Anyway, so for anyone wondering, Nuke did get promoted to Master 3, which is awesome. He was at that point to get promoted for a while, but sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get the actual promotion itself. But it's very nice.
Then I went on a losing streak, but I think it's pretty normalized right now.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You can't be demoted anymore, so you're all good.
Yeah.
Well, at least for this season, right? Next season is gonna be a different story, but yeah, you've been in Master League for like a month right now, I guess, right? It's been a little while.
Yeah, a couple of weeks, I think.
Wow, you went on an insane win streak 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
Like, it's literally just green, followed by a bunch of red. Is that when you get promoted? Like, because this is like 17 wins.
Yeah.
Nice.
I got like, I don't know. Like, I was scared to play at one point because I didn't want to break the the winning streak.
Right.
But yeah, somewhere around there I got promoted.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Alrighty. Yeah. So currently ZVP is 50%, ZVT is 58%, and ZVZ is 44%. So that's actually pretty clean, all things considered. I don't think there's a whole lot. I mean, ZVZ is statistically a little worse, but you know, it's also ZVZ. So you know, it's not necessarily the most complicated matchup. Cool. All right. Did you have anything in particular in mind for today, or you want to focus primarily on replays, or what's the goal? I usually find like in Master League it becomes much easier to look at a bunch of replays rather than like play games. But
yeah. So I have a few games in particular. Like even though ZVT is like statistically my strongest matchup, there was like one or two matches against Terran where I got totally wrecked.
all right.
So yeah, then I
we can have a look at
won ZVP and yeah, but ZVT first, I think.
All right, cool. Yeah, at some point it's just like not that efficient anymore to like, I don't know, just focus on playing games and like, you know, have me watch at the same time. But
yep.
Look, I'll play him if you like. Yeah, I had a couple of people already mention that they would like to play, so that's good. Nara is already in the chat as well. He's saying you played against Terran and you got wrecked. That's what I like to hear. He's a master level Terran player as well. So if you want to play a couple of games, I mean, we do have the option.
Yeah.
Is this guy in the fake D-Pix clan? That's interesting.
Really.
There's like D-Pix is normally with an X, right? Anyway.
Yeah. It's yeah. The name is D-Pix, but like with the C.
Yeah.
Really fun.
Anyway, could you give me the lobby host?
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, Nara's a Terran player, so if you need to play a game, that's fine.
Yeah. This game, I think he just played really smart. Like, you know how usually, like in Diamond League and all of that, they just like when Terran drops or something, they drop and try to get the maximum damage. And so like, I managed to kill all their units and then get ahead from that. But like, it felt like he never really committed anything. So I kept making units, but I couldn't really use them.
Right.
So yeah, something like that.
He just kept baiting units out of you and you just weren't able to drone?
Yeah.
Right.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's some players play like that. Some people like overcommit units and some people undercommit units. It's a little tricky. Oh, you put a little heart next to hatchery. That's good. Let's have a look then. So going pool first. It's like a new gold standard, or did you watch the dark games?
Yeah, like I've just been doing that because it's really fun.
Mm-hmm.
And like even if they keep the Reaper at home or something, you still get scouting.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen a lot of programmers do this lately. So essentially, for anyone unfamiliar, you time it up so that the... Like, Zergling, or actually, like, Nuke took the long route around the map, right? Dodging that Reaper altogether. And essentially what you're looking for is to, like, slow down their expansion. And if you play Terran and, like, you get your command center slowed down, you get supply blocked, essentially. So it's pretty good. It's good fun. It's just a pain in the ass. It doesn't really cost you a whole lot. Cool.
New subscriber detected.
Yo, Nara, thank you for your sub, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you. Alright, I like the quick third base here. I've actually seen Stefano do this exact build, where he goes pull first with Zergling speed, and then he takes hatch right after. So before any queens, he gets 2 hatches, which is maybe something you want to consider. Because that way, even if the Reaper gets left at home, if they go for like a Hellion switch, you still finish up Zergling speed. So he makes, essentially what he does, he goes 17 gas, 17 pool, minus 100 gas gets metabolic boost upgrade. Then he makes like 6 Zerglings in total, so 3 sets. And he sends them across the map. Still in like the normal way that you did it in this one as well. And you should still be able to like do a little bit of damage. And even if they leave the Reaper at home, you know, you're still going to be able to clean that one up. And then the cool part about it is that he takes 2 expansions right afterwards. It just like messes up the Terran's mind really badly. Because they look at the game and are like, hey, there's not supposed to be a third base right here. Just
Yep.
maybe something you want to consider. But I really like this meta, or this Nemesis carapace. I think that's cool. So you leave the drones in gas on purpose? I'm guessing?
Hmm?
Do you leave the drones in the gas, guys, on purpose?
I just left them in the gas for the overload speed and then didn't take them out.
Alright.
So yeah.
Cool. Do you play Roach Warren against every Hellion opener right now?
Yeah, pretty much. Just like it's a lot easier to defend against Hellions.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what follow-up they do. So like,
This is what you mean, right?
didn't get any more Hellions, but still, it's a lot safer.
Right. Yeah, so I think so far the droning is pretty good, but we're kind of like starting to flood a lot of resources here already. Right, so let's back up a little, see what happened. I feel like the droning was actually pretty solid here, all things considered. But then like the minerals start flowing in. Is it just a missed injects? Could definitely be the case. Well, it's not even that so much. So. Yeah, you probably at some point, like once you start flooding some resources, you can definitely just start up the double evo. I think in this situation, when you're going, like when you leave the drones in the gas, probably right around 4 minutes, right around the time that you have like 200 gas. So I think right around 4 minutes is when you have 200 gas. Ish. Yeah, I think this is like a good moment to start up 2 evos right here at the front together with the Roach Warren and just get 1-1 going. That way you're gonna finish it up really nicely too. So improvements, I'll just write it down as well. Double evo after Nematized at like 200 gas. Let's go melee upgrades and missile unless you know, or melee and armor rather, unless you know specifically what you're doing. Yeah, so this is what you mean, right? He flies in with the dropship, but he doesn't do anything.
Yeah. Like so, he keeps all the units alive. It's just confusing.
Right. Yeah, not being bothered by it so much, though. I would like to see, like, basically, one thing that I feel like is missing is defense right here, just in case Hellions would swoop in, because at this point you don't have any intel whether or not he kept the reactor on there or not. Just a little risky. Yeah, so he's just playing it a little funny. One sec.
Hashtag charity, September.
Yo, Decipher, thank you for the 100 bits, sir. I just went downstairs to ask if food was ready, and now I got dinner handed to me on a plate. All right, I'll eat a little later. All right, yeah. So I feel like so far, the spending here is kind of off. Like that hurts a lot.
Yeah.
Like
Sure,
be it like a macro hedge or like double
Probably
upgrades or anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So whenever you're in this situation and you like realize it, you gotta like come up with a plan. So right now this push is gonna be pretty tough to hold, just because of the the excess resources. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. I think that one was pretty clear though. So let's see the follow up then. I actually really like having like 3 Ravagers against siege tanks, just for the biles on the siege tanks. Makes it really easy. Even when you don't plan on making any use of it. Yeah. Ah, you're still at a solid economy here though, all things considered. Nice scouting there as well. Alright, so what's like the plan from here on out? Like what are you planning to do right now? Like what's like the goal from here?
I think I tried to like kill his push and play greedy. Like I got the double upgrades and the infestation pit for the hive. Because he just took his 3rd base. And yeah, I'm behind on walks right now, but I think I try to like drone up 4 bases and then just play the late game, because I feel like I'm pretty good at late game any matchup. So yeah, I think that was what I did, because like my upgrades are pretty late, so I don't think I could have gone for like a timing push with upgrades.
Yeah, I feel like that's the correct way to play. Now I agree. Like if you get to like ultras, it's pretty fun. All right, so from here on out, like it's mostly gonna be defensive play until hive is done. Then. Yeah, minerals are really high in this game. Definitely missing some multitasking there.
Yeah, the other games should be better, like
Alright,
wise.
yeah, that's fine. I would still actually, if you plan on going ultras, if you plan on playing late game, I would definitely advise going carapace, even if you're gonna defend with Roach Ravager earlier. They don't benefit nearly as much from +1 missile as in Zerg vs Terran, at least as you can get from like their late game carapace upgrades. So I would definitely go carapace. Like this is good against Protoss in particular, like going melee and missile. Although you go carapace right now, but
yeah. I think I just got the melee upgrade first because of because it was pushing. I only had really roaches to defend.
Yep. I think it's still good to have like banelings and circlings in here though, because this is gonna be really tricky here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the process is good. It's just a little slow there on the spending. I don't know. This could be at like the end of like a session of playing or whatever. Although he's macroing, he's slipping pretty hard right now. I do like this idea though a lot when you're going for like the Ultra Cavern and basically just play late game. I think that's the correct thing. Like whenever you're behind, just come up with a way of like just try and come up with a win condition and go from there. That's good.
Yep.
All right, ultras. Let's go, ultras. Ultras! Ultras! Where are you? You can make like 6! Ah, there we go. 6, exactly. Yeah, this one is going to be tricky. Interestingly enough, he built 96 workers. Which isn't going to really help out all too much. Although, like, at this point, even if you manage to max out, right? You can still do a really strong push, even if you're not gonna, like, you know, if you're in this situation, you're like, well, shit, I probably can't win the late game anymore. You might still be able to just go for a whole lot of ultras, try and max out and do one big push. I don't know if you end up winning this game, but it's always a good option.
Okay.
So this guy completely forgot how to, like, macro, apparently. Well, he's maxed out right now, but it's quite slow there. Yeah, I feel like if you move, like, if you were to move, like, across the map right now with Infestors, Zerglings, and Ultras, you actually still have a really good chance of winning.
Yeah. And he was building, like, 5 Liberators at a time.
Yeah.
I think that was skilled me then.
Yeah,
Because, like, I couldn't get through with the Ultras.
Yeah, this is like really tough right now. Yeah, he's gonna build a billion Liberator. Late game is just build Liberators. try and get as many as possible. Yeah, so that's a shame.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like this was just macro mostly here.
Yeah, okay.
Alright, let's jump into the next one. Solid all-round game though. Even though it's a loss, like it's the thought process is good. I'll give you the part lead. What's going on, Weird? It's good to see you, sir.
Got another one. Not sure what exactly happened.
Alright. That's all good. Wait, Geek of Nature, you need a nap right now, but you're gonna miss Zerg coaching. What do you mean?
Zerg coaching is more important than sleep.
Mm-hmm. You can sleep for the rest of your life, right? This coaching is gonna be it's gonna be relevant for the meta right now. Lowko, I'm here, but naps. No. No, you can't do that. Alright. Mini pulled. Let's have a look. Let's just cruise through the early game. See what we got. Dude, I need to start using my my sprays a lot more. That's a great strategy. Do you shift Q it as well? Can you shift Q sprays?
Yeah.
You can? Oh. Alright. Okay, so hold up. Let's back up a little. So this guy goes for the double bunkers. Nice reaction time right there. Okay, all good. I would really be like if you're gonna pull auto drones, you gotta be real careful with no gas mining. I think it would probably have been a little cleaner to like. I don't know if you're gonna leave the drones in gas, but essentially you want to pull them off right now at 100 for sure.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna pull in off soon. I hope.
Okay. Yeah.
Or
So
not.
if you're up against this though, just go mass unit production. There we go.
Yeah.
And definitely keep tax off his natural. Yeah, perfect. Really good. That's really nice. I think that's honestly like one of the main differences between like Master 3 and like Master 2 and Master 1 is just like dealing with all the little stupid builds. You could probably play a macro game like Master 1, but it's like these kind of stupid games that like make a big difference.
Yeah. Overall, yeah, right, yeah, okay. I remember this game now. So basically, like, I want to go for Ling Bane because he didn't really have anything at home.
Uh-huh.
But then he went for Hellbat drops, which like destroy Ling Bane. So yeah, that was kind of that. So I think I fell behind in the early game, even though he like didn't really have any success with the cheese.
Yeah. So far it's been a really clean game. I really like the way you're following this up as well with the 8 drones. Early game, yeah, can't really make any improvements there, I don't think. I mean, other than maybe the drones out of gas, but you know, all good.
Yeah.
Right. So I like the overload position there as well, keeping track of what's going on and actually even scouting this thing right here. So I would love to see a Roach Warren at this point and like Spore Crawlers in the base. Just because you know that he's stuck on one base, you know? Like at this point, if you know he's stuck on one base, well, I guess you can do this too. That's a little more risky, but
Yeah,
it's not even a terrible idea though. Like it's actually pretty viable. Yeah, so actually, if you're gonna engage with Banes right there, and do you hear the rain? It's raining like crazy here. I don't know if you can hear that.
The rain just passed.
Anyway, it's actually beneficial sometimes if you've got a lot of Banes to hit the factory instead, so you can blow up both depots.
Oh yeah, right.
You could probably do a little more damage with it that way. Anyway, yeah, I like the decision right here that you look at it and you're like, okay, let's go back to droning. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Alright, so Roach Warrens and Spore Crawlers as well. Very nice. I think you can also go for a third base here. And probably more queens. Like, if you're in doubt right here what to make, like, queens are going to be a really good option, no matter what.
Okay.
So you have seen the command center as well. That's good. Yeah, I think queens here is going to be one of the key takeaways. Like, whenever you're in a situation where, like, up against early game pressure, and it's, like, a variety of, like, you know, barracks, factory, starport units, when you're up against, like, a variety of units, queens are essentially your answer to all of them. So, when up against 1-1-1, I guess, right? Go more queens.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay.
So even though this is not technically 1-1-1, but yeah. I think going up to like 5 to 7 queens here is totally fine. Roaches are good too though, but yeah. Yeah, they kind of missed that air support here. I like the target firing there, but... Yeah, so that's a minor thing. I think that like adding on queens would have been really nice here. Although you're still in a good spot right now. Good defense so far. It's a shame of that what's it called, medevac.
Yep.
Alright. Well, hey, even at this point, you're still in a really fine situation. As long as you, please fly into the spore. Oh, he didn't fly into the spore. Ah, that's gross.
Yep.
Yeah, even at this point, you're still in a pretty good situation, knowing that he's still going to be on one base. And you actually get to block it right there in a pretty solid manner, too. Alright. So I'm assuming from here on out it's going to be more of a macro game. Although at this point, you're pretty far ahead, though. Loco, do you no longer post videos on YouTube saying that you're live? I stream about 6 days a week. I make like 1 or 2 update videos a week that's saying that I'm live. So I don't do it every time. Okay, so we lost a bunch of workers there. Cool. Okay, nice. Yeah, we really need a third base at this point, though. Like, the third base is quite late.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright, so like, what's your plan right now, right? So right now we're at a point in the game where I'm assuming you probably think you're barely ahead, but not very far. What's like the go-to strat from here? Like, what are you aiming for at this point?
I think I tried to just go for a timing push.
Mm-hmm.
Like with Road Ravager, but then he showed up with Banshees. So I went to get a Hydra then, and then everything was like delayed.
Right.
And yeah, I think he overtook me in economy at that point because I was building too many units.
Right. Yeah. So if you go up against someone who's going Banshees, you don't necessarily need to make a Hydra then right from the get-go. Like, you can probably get away with like using it just as an harassment tool and still go for the timing push. Just because it's gonna delay it otherwise by like a good minute or so, right? Your other option though, as well, is like the same one as in the previous game. Just look at this and be like, alright, I'm gonna get 80 workers. I'm just gonna max out on you know, late game units.
Yeah.
In which case, like, the Hydra then makes a lot of sense. But I don't think you can really go for a Hydra then and a timing push here. It's either like roaches or like late game focus. Yeah, so these 10 roaches are kind of a waste.
Yep.
Yeah. Both hiding bases. Just
And he had a
CGT
hidden
things.
base that I didn't find.
Yeah. Yeah, so at this point, like, you kind of have to go for a push because you're, you know. But this is essentially like an all-in right now, right? I mean, even though you can still follow this up,
yeah.
like, it's gonna be, it's 40 workers for 70.
Yep.
Yeah, so I feel like if you,
good, though.
yeah, well, yeah, for sure. I feel like if you go up against this and you want to go for like a timing attack, I would just skip out the Hydras altogether and just like know that there's gonna be maybe 1 or 2 Banshees out there, but it's not gonna be, you know, that big of a deal. Yeah. Double Spire. Yeah, we really need a ton of workers here. Yeah, so if you're playing from behind like that, like, I mean, you gotta try something, so. It's 15 workers and Double Spire is cool. Yeah. Honestly, he's playing this rather passively as well, but it's just gonna be really tricky to play from behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not really a whole lot to discuss, I don't think, here, right? I have not seen that Swarm Host skin in game yet. That looks sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, so reasonably, there's battle cruisers out here. Good luck with that. Yeah, so reasonably straightforward game there. I thought the early game was really strong, and then it just sort of caught you off guard with the banshees there. So I think focusing on more queens in the early game would have definitely made it easier. Like in particular, when you scouted like at the 5-minute mark or whatever, right here, where you scouted what was going on here. This is like the perfect example of like a game that can make very good use of like either queen baneling or like queen roach, something along those lines.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So when going up against 1-1-1, go more queens. This is like typical Master League coaching right now, though. Like it's literally just like a really small, minor improvements that I think are gonna make a big deal, or a big difference.
Yep.
Yeah, I hate losing against better cruisers too, Super Jewel. It's not even the better cruisers that do it. Like it's literally just the macro and the economy that eventually wins the Terrans the game. But it almost feels like a mean thing to win with better cruisers, just because better cruisers are they're good, but like, you know, they're not really like, hey, I'm gonna like overtake you with better cruisers now. They're more or less like, I'm gonna shove it down your throat at this point.
Yep.
1-1-1 usually means 1 barracks, 1 factory, 1 starport. Although in this game he had 2 barracks, 1 factory, 1 starport. Essentially what people mean with it is like a variety of Stargate, or rather starport, factory, barracks units. Like it's like a variety of stuff. The classic one was like a build that I don't. Do you remember who? Do you remember who popularized 1-1-1? Do you know, Nuke? Was it Tasia?
No,
Was it Tasia that played that a lot? But yeah, it's basically like all like a variety of stuff. So like for example, Hellion Banshee, or like Marine Hellbat, or like Marine Hellbat Medevac, like, you know, something along those lines.
Anything with mixed unit, basically.
Yeah, exactly. You think it actually was Gumiho? That could actually be. I don't know. Gumiho plays some wild strategies. Although this is like a build from like 2011 though. Gumiho was around back then. Anyway, so yeah, like basically if you struggle in the early game, this goes for anyone, right? If you're struggling in the early game against Terran and you're like, hey snap, I can't really make units and drones at the same time, just consider adding on more queens. They don't cost any larva, they're great. Puma, there we go, Puma. Puma was the Terran player. That's it. I think that's accurate right there. I haven't heard that name in so long. E.g. Puma. Oh, yeah. Anyway, do you want to do another ZVT, or you want to jump into another matchup? We can play a game too, if you like.
I think there's also ZVT replays, really. At least the ones that I lost.
That was not a whole lot of losses now. I lost 2 games of ZVP. It's like, oh, okay. Or ZVT, rather. It was definitely Puma. Yep. Yeah.
So I have a ZVP game.
Mm-hmm.
I think this might just be about like timing, like build what at what times, and like maybe some things earlier or later.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, it was like I was in a pretty good position, but he pushed like before all my brute loss and stuff.
Okay.
So I kind of lost just.
Yep. Cool. Yeah, so ZVT in general, by the way, looked on point there. It's just a couple of minor improvements. It sucks to lose when you're ahead, but only way you're gonna figure it out is by losing.
Yep.
Alrighty, ZVP.
New subscriber detected.
Samarak, thank you for the 3-month resub. Appreciate it. Yeah, like the 1-1-1 is like, it's like back from a time where you could come up with a new strategy and essentially get 90% win rate. That's like, it's very uncommon nowadays for like people to figure out something that groundbreaking. When you think about it, it's not even that strange, right? To play Hellions and Starport units, but for some reason nobody really did it before now. Okay, so quick Nemesis carapace once more. Quick third base, I like that. Get another queen here as well. Cool. All right, so far, can't really, you know, give any complaints, I suppose. I guess one thing that you could consider doing is get the Evo chamber quite a bit faster. So essentially you get that first Evo chamber when you're right around 50 gas after starting up Pneumatized Carapace. So you would start it up right about right now. Just so you can start at 1-1 a little faster, and that should like, it should just tie in with the first wave of adepts a little easier. You know, if you're gonna start it anyway, you may as well start it early. Right. Yeah, so one thing to keep in mind though is when you play this, when you play like leave drones in gas, so you play Pneumatized Carapace and Third Queen and all that, like you need to drone really hard right now, because worker-wise you're gonna be behind for a little bit, so it's really important you drone up like really hard at this point. Yeah, so a bunch of idle larvae right now. This is kind of unnecessary here. This is actually a really big deal in ZVP. There we go. Gotta get that time as low as possible. Good timing there, though. Cool. Alright. So you have scouted their base. That's nice. This is like a good moment to go back in with the Overlord, just to see what he's planning on. Like if he's looking for a third base. Because right now it kind of looks like he's going for a third base, but you can't really tell at this point. Are you going Overlord drop? Oh, okay, cool. Alright, yeah, so 5-minute mark, no third base. It's like a good moment to at least start making a handful of units. Although I guess it's just a little late. Cool. Yeah, so at this point, like, so like general rule of thumb once again, right? If you get to 5 minutes and you know that there's no third base, even though he's late, usual third base will go up like, you know, 3 to maybe 4.5 minutes. If it's like at this point, it's just gonna be, there's just gonna be a lot of units out for the Protoss for sure. So you kind of need something on the ground. So,
okay.
Right now, like a round of units would make really good sense. In particular, also if you see more oracles flying across, it's a pretty big indication he's gonna try and do something. I really do like this little run by though. Photon Overcharge, good spell. Yeah, so like this is the point in the game where it's like really tough, right? So general rule of thumb, if you get to like the 5-minute mark and you don't see a third base, at least make sure you have like a 16 Zerglings or so sitting at home. So I imagine if you would have started that Evo chamber up earlier as well, you would have finished up +1 by now, right? Whereas I think by the time it gets to the other side of the map, it's just a little bit too late. So it's like a really minor thing, but like it adds up really quickly. +1 attack is a huge difference here.
Yeah, okay.
Alright, so Zerg versus Protoss. Ling speed. Pneumatized. Faster, +1 melee. So every, like, all the pieces are correct, it's just a little bit off in timing. When third base from Protoss is, I'm just gonna write it down as later than 4:30, I guess. Make sure to have a control group worth of links. Oh, snap. I clicked somewhere. Cool. Alright. Crisis management. Let's go. Well, hey, that was pretty clean. Crisis averted. Well, mostly. Alright. Getting greedy there. That's okay. Alright. So if you're in this situation right now, what is your plan? Knowing that you're going to be in some trouble here and that you probably are going to have a hard time playing like a straight up game. Like what's your go-to right now?
I think I'd try to get at least some mod runs, because like 33 isn't really going to help.
Mm-hmm.
And then probably go for a timing attack, I guess, with another upgrade and Hydrating Bane.
Okay. Yep. I like this move across the map with the links a lot to sort of like see what's up. You're like, oh, hey, that's not a whole lot here. Although I wouldn't want to lose him. There we go. Don't lose him, no. Okay, good. Yeah, so I think the droning here is definitely a correct option, and then transitioning towards Hydra Bane is definitely a good option too. So I would probably be aiming right now for like full 3-base saturation, and just try and get back to the point where you were originally heading, and then just start making a lot of units. So essentially what that means is that you're going to stick on lair tech for a while, so no quick hive, and you're going to set yourself up for like that same timing push, except for a little bit later, just because you know that you probably are going to go up against a lot more Protoss stuff. So I would really like to see like a full base saturation to third right now, then Hydra Ling Bane, and just no tech up towards the hive. It's a little risky, but yeah. I would actually prioritize +2 melee there if I were you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I like these 11 drones a lot. Like, it's risky because you know if he moves across the map at this point, you're kind of dead, but if you're going to play straight up, you're kind of dead too, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is good. So if you start making non-stop units right now and stick to Hydra Ling Bane, that's exactly what you probably want to do. Nice. Solid scouting there as well with the Overlord. Really like that. Oh, that's the Haka. The Haka voice actually all of a sudden. Mineral field exhausted.
Yep.
Alright, yeah. So you can actually go for a timing attack. Like, you know, if you wanted to, you could actually go for a push right now. Probably go for his third base, or maybe his natural, but...
Yep.
That's a pretty scary army, though, not gonna lie. So I actually do like the decision there as well, to like look at it and be like, well, I wanted to commit there, but I probably shouldn't.
Yep.
Oh. I don't really usually play Lurker down here, but... if you can get Lurkers out, I guess it's still gonna be pretty good, since there's no Archons.
Yep.
Yeah, so the concept is definitely looking solid. I felt like the majority of the game went in your favor, except for the Adepts, and then the Adepts just sort of tore everything apart. Everything other than that, it was really solid, huh?
Okay.
Yeah, so now he's like, you know, he's actually playing this smart as well, like to his favor there. Like, he's scouting about, trying to figure out what time you're like getting your hive at. So like, he basically tries to push before you get Broodlords out, which he knows is going to be right around right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's, you know,
Yeah, like
to
the
his credit, that's
is
good.
about to finish and he's pushing out.
Yep. No, you were going. This guy is definitely a good player.
Yep.
All right. Yeah. So I feel like it kind of went downhill over here. So when you realize the third base is late for a Protoss and you know that he's playing Stargate, you kind of want to make sure that you have at least some units out just in case of Adepts. So usually, like at the pro level, you'll probably see the guys running around with like, you know, maybe 10 Zerglings or so, and have a couple of them ready to morph into Banes. It's probably safer to go like 16 or so links with +1 attack. And then also like fastening up that +1 attack timing is going to be a big difference too.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so when the third frame is for Protoss later than 4:30, make sure you have a control group worth of links. Yep, cool. Nice game, all things considered. Like, not a, you know, such a minor little thing, but it's, you know, Protoss can be kind of a pain.
Yeah. Yep.
I was just looking at the chat real quick. Yeah, he's in Master 3 right now. Master 3. So that's where we're talking like the nitty-gritty details. There's like a couple of things in lower leagues that are completely, or rather in higher leagues that are completely irrelevant in lower leagues. Right? Like, right now I'm advising Nuke to go ahead and specifically make this control group worth of Zerglings, whereas if you're in Gold League, I would probably recommend having that control group worth of Zerglings no matter what. Right? Anyway, we gotta specify a little more. Am I gonna try and play competitive Brood War? No, I don't have any plans for that right now. Maybe at some point though, we'll see. I don't think I've got about 2 decades of catching up to do if I were to play competitive Brood War. It's a hard game. I enjoy playing it casually, but like competitive, it's really tough. Those players are good, man. Just like moving your stuff across the map is really hard.
Yeah. So I have 3 more ZVZ games.
Okay.
Yeah. Like ZVZ is just hard sometimes.
Uh-huh. Yeah. It's got some recent developments, but most of it is just like try not to mess up too much in the first 12 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like the guy that makes the first mistake loses oftentimes in ZVZ. It's pretty fun to watch at the highest level because like they get like crazy Roach Burrow micro going and all kinds of tech switches, and you know, most of the games just don't really go that far. Alright. Do you play the 16-16-16 like we talked about last time? Or you transition back?
Not sure. Well, like, I think I just went greedy in this game. I don't know.
That's good.
But yeah, I tried to do the 16-16-16.
Nice. Yeah, so for anyone wondering, we discussed that last time, where Nuke was losing a lot of games to like early game pressure, like 13-12 and stuff, and 14-14 pressure. If you go 17 or 16-16-16 rather than 17-18-18,
New subscriber detected.
it's quite a big difference.
Lowko, will you be rooting for Neeb at BlizzCon?
Yo, Humble Killer, thank you very much for your 2-month resub. Will I be rooting for Neep at BlizzCon? I mean, I'm certainly going to be rooting for Neep, but there's a lot of great players there. I don't know. Who do you think is going to win BlizzCon, Nuke? You watch a lot of StarCraft. Do you know?
I'm not sure. Probably a Korean.
I mean, it's probably a Korean or Neep. Like,
yeah, pretty much. I mean, like, the other non-Koreans are also pretty good, but I don't think they're on the highest Korean level.
yeah.
And like, Neep won the Casper Cup or something, but he played pretty much only PvP, when PvP was only Blink Stalker Disruptor. So I'm not sure.
He's a beast though. Neep is really good right now. But yeah, there's gonna be guys like Stats Innovation, Sue, Dark, Gumiho, like Hero, SOS. Like I think SOS made it. Actually, I'm not sure. No, I don't know. I think he needs to win
not
still.
yet, I think.
Yeah, but it's a tough call. It's definitely a tough call to make. Probably a Korean Nuke 2017. I mean, that's a safe bet right there.
Yeah.
I think the most likely, I don't know why we're talking about this right now, but anyway, the most likely player to win will probably be Innovation. I think Innovation is probably the highest win rate. Then again, everyone knows how Innovation plays, right? So it's...
Yeah.
I would say probably about a 30% chance that Innovation wins, but any of the other guys can take it as well. Anyway, Humble Kidder, thank you for the 2 months. Appreciate it. All right. Cool. You may want to consider doing this too, what your opponent's doing here. This is like one of the few recent things that you may want to try out. So basically, after starting up Link Speed, you pull the 2 drones out of gas and you go for a slightly faster third base. The idea behind this is that since you know that your opponent isn't going to be cheesing anymore at that point anyway, you can assume that he's going to go for a hatchery first, and therefore, in order to obtain an advantage, you can go for a faster third. It's kind of... ZVZ is kind of silly like that, but...
Yeah.
So essentially what you would do is like pull the 2 drones out of gas, go third base, and then a baiting nest. But yeah. It's something that you might want to consider trying out. I really like it actually. It lines up really well, but it's kind of a preference kind of thing. Okay, so I like the first batch of the first batch of larvae into Master a lot. Now we try to not die for the next 8 minutes, and we'll see where the game goes. So the drone timing right here is on point. That's good. That's exactly the kind of drones that you need to make. So that puts you really far ahead here already. Okay, 16 links. Also like the hotkeying here of the 2 separate baits. Okay, I think the timing here for these 2 is maybe a little early. I would love to see this transition towards like Link or towards Roach with +1 and the lair and everything right after you get rid of this pressure. Because right now, if he's gonna commit non-stop into Zerglings, and you just spent like, you know, 500 resources into something that's not defensive units, it's kind of a risky move, right? Like essentially, after you defend, this is gonna be a good moment to transition towards this. Oh, well, I don't want to say I called it, but I don't want to be that smug, but kind of cool. Although that defense was actually still alright.
Yeah,
But it just cost a bunch of workers, right? Yeah. So I feel like this was just a tad bit too greedy. So transition, like you had the amount of workers in check, like the amount of workers in place right here to actually transition towards these things. But like that only really goes if you also got time on your side, right? So you do want to get this amount of workers. But right now, like when you know he's running across the map, this is just too risky to pull off. So transition when you have workers, you have the workers, and the easiest way to like explain it is time, I guess. You understand what I mean, right?
Yeah.
If not, that's cool. Let me know. Sometimes I explain things in ways that I can make sense of it myself, but it doesn't make a lot of sense when I try and speak it out loud. Words are funny. Yeah, so I think it would have been easier if you spend a little bit more on defense there.
Yep.
Whew. Both all army hotkeyed back to home. Alright. So setting up for this timing push here is solid. I like that. It's just a little risky knowing that he is gonna have a lot more eco here. So essentially this is becoming like, rather than like a pressure, it's more or less like an all-in right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're playing the all-in, I think that going for the Spire is just not gonna make a lot of sense. Okay, I do like the drone follow-up there, which is basically your only option at this point. But I think at this moment he's probably just got a little bit too much stuff. Yeah, so this was like one of those games where it's just such a minor thing. I think the transition towards Roach Ravager right there was just a little bit too soon. Or the Roach Warren and the +1 attack was just a little bit too soon. It was just gonna cost you a little more than just the units there. You could have probably defended them a little cleaner. Let's go back once again to that pressure though. Could you have known about this stuff? Let's look at Overlord spread. Did you lose an Overlord? Or did you send this one back? I think you may have lost an Overlord.
Yeah, we both lost one Overlord at the start.
Okay. Yeah, I think actually that may have been like one of the big deals as well. Like, yeah. Like having this one, if you would have had that Overlord right over there, like the standard place right over there somewhere, after scouting the third, you would have been able to see this from coming in. Yep. Yeah, so he's just gonna run him straight across the map, but you don't really see him until like right now.
Yep.
Welcome to ZVZ, chat. That's a ZVZ right there for you. It's like, oh, yeah, Overlord died. Ah, that's a shame. GG. It's not quite, you know, it's not quite like that, but yeah. I mean, I guess I don't have to write down this. Care for your Overlords. Hashtag care for the Ovies. There you go.
Yep.
That's a great point of improvement as well. Everything else, once again, was on point. Am I planning on playing the StarCraft 2 campaigns again after I'm done with StarCraft Remastered? Maybe. Maybe. I'm currently kind of leaning towards it, yes. But I can't tell you for certain yet, because that's kind of like a half-year commitment to like play 60 missions.
Yep.
Christian. It's a shame that the creep covers the heart though, right? Does the spray actually get covered? I think so.
Yeah, I think it does.
What if you spray afterwards?
They sprayed on first.
Yeah.
Not sure.
That's a shame. Alright.
Actually, it stays over there.
Oh yeah. How have I never noticed that? Because you're not looking for it. Like, it's not what you're thinking about when you're in the game. Alright.
Yeah.
So this is a big scout right here, right? Seeing the Evo chamber this early on is a rather big tell that something is a little funny. So you clicked on it as well. Very nice. So what are you assuming right now? What do you think is going to be?
He's probably gonna go for a lot of links and paints with +1 melee.
Cool. I mean, yeah, going +1 as well is totally fine. Yeah, so this once again becomes a game of drones. Now this is a rather uncommon scenario though to be in. So wait, actually, did you scout the gas increases there? Yeah, if you see him take additional gases, you gotta kind of be on your toes there, like something's a little funny there.
No. Yep.
Now if he's not pushing yourself, or if he's not pushing, I would really recommend you making a massive push here. Like when you finish up one attack, and you know he should have finished up his +1 already, going for a massive push is gonna be really important. Yeah, so you need to cross, like you need to go across the map right now. This is kind of like wasting time right now.
Okay.
This is like one of those games though that's really uncommon. I don't know how often you will see this. So you once again get scouted the gas there. Interestingly enough, I don't even know exactly what he's planning on. I thought it was going to be mute up play, but he's very slow on it. Whew. Okay, good defense. Yeah, so I felt like you could have played quite a bit more aggressive there for the earlier part of the game. Oh. Ooh. Ooh. Do we want to relive this moment? that was a manual detonation right there. Feel your pain, Nuke.
Yep. I thought I selected one, but I didn't.
Boop. Feels Batman.
Yep.
Yeah, so minor thing there, but I would definitely recommend pushing across the map just a little bit faster than that.
Okay.
Nah, I do like the idea of the road transition. It's just hard to pull off. Yeah, at this point, he's just gonna go Spire. Yeah, minor little thing. Game of Drones? Yes! The Game of Drones is really important in ZVZ. You know, in the Game of Drones, you win or you die. There is no middle ground. Cersei Lannister.
You always build too many and too few drones at the same time.
Yes, exactly.
That's just how it goes.
No, I don't know if it's
Okay, this is a quick one.
Alright. It's funny, I know these names of people that you play against. I play against them. Or at least like the clan guys. Meadowit. Now the Game of Drones, it's the ZVZ matchup is very much so a Game of Drones. Usually the guy, like if you trade evenly, the guy with more drones will make more stuff. Now part of it is, you know, getting it evenly. Alright, so he's going super cheese. Super duper cheese.
Yep.
Question is, are we going to be able to hold it? I like how you really put this into your build order. To, like spray with the drone. Every game, consistently.
It's
like... That's nice.
Yeah, I rally the drones from the eggs, so they arrive at the same time. And I always have like about 1 second left until I actually have to build the hatchery. So it's just the time.
Alright. So he's actually going 12 pool expand. That's very odd.
Yeah, that really threw me off. I thought he was committing a lot more.
Yeah, so this is why the Overlord Scout here initially is really important.
Yeah.
So getting Zerg speed here is a
confirmed.
huge deal.
How can I buy bits?
Yep. Xruba, thank you for the 10 euro donation. How can I buy bits? Does anyone know exactly where you purchase bits? I'm not entirely sure.
Like in the chat box, the top right, there's like a triangle, and you just click that, and then it should say buy bits.
Yeah, in the chat there's like a button that selects emojis, and there's also one right next to it for cheers. Now when I click on it, it says you cannot cheer in your own channel for some odd reason. But yeah, hey, thank you for the 10 euro donation though. If I could see a round of hearts in the chat, it would be awesome. Thank you, sir. Very generous. Alright, so right now you see with the Overlord that there's a hatchery up as well. I really like that +1 attack starting right here. That's a good one. Oh, you didn't get the inject off. No inject on that first queen. Right? Yeah, you need to hit that inject. That inject is really important.
Yep.
It's not a triangle, it's a cone. Oh, I'm sorry, Chupa. This is like discussing colors all over again. It's not red, it's salmon. like I don't know what that means. It's not a triangle, it's a cone. Like, okay, I'm sorry. Alright, are you going +1 attack? Is essentially like a... just for the wall.
I wasn't sure if I was too far behind already.
Right.
So I was just trying to go for an all-in.
I think that's actually a good idea, yeah. I would probably just limit it to Zerglings and Banelings at that point, because +1 takes a long time to finish. Did you lose the first Overlord?
Yeah.
Oh no, there he goes. It goes back. Although, yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like as soon as you see that there's an expansion down, I don't think you want to go for the spine crawler and whatnot anymore. You kind of need to get yourself an expansion up and like a Baneling nest and just go for a push there. I think that's probably the smarter decision. Although, yeah, if you plan on going all in, I guess you could also make a macro hedge, but... Yeah, this is a pretty well thought out build for your opponent.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think you probably didn't want to put up that macro hatchery in. Yeah. Well, I like the idea here though. To go just, you know, to call it quits if this push doesn't work. Yeah, so at this point you're like, oh crap. Well, I'm committed. GG. Cool.
Yep.
Yeah, so when going up against an all-in, like that was a really early push. You recognized it was earlier than a 13-12, I think? I don't know exactly, but normally against 13-12 you don't cancel the base. Right, so when going up against an all-in, that's super quick. And you see an expansion. You know, going Ling Bling with Expo is probably best. It's really tricky though. Like these are the kind of games that are so uncommon and so like every once in a while that it's easier to look at the game after playing it than it is like while playing it. You know what I mean? Like this is one of the things that just requires a ton of practice to like recognize exactly what's going on because it's such a minor thing. But when you do see like early game pressure though, like every time you see like an early pool, always look if they get an expansion. Like it's a massive indication. If they go for an expansion, it usually isn't meant to kill you. Like for example, 13 pool with an expansion follow up usually comes without Banelings. But if you go for like an aggressive 13-12, there's not going to be an expansion until quite a bit later. But yeah, okay. Like a little thing. Was that the last game for now, actually?
Yeah.
Cool. You want to play maybe a match or two? I think we got time for a match or two, if you'd like to.
Yeah, sure.
Any matchup in particular? I know there's a couple of Terran players available, but...
Yeah, we can play against any, I think.
Alright, cool.
Like, I think it's just like these minor things in the games I showed.
Yeah, it's like a very small note, but...
Yeah, it's not like an entire matchup.
Yeah, let's do like one game or maybe two games where we're just gonna try and see if everything is going well. So if anyone wants to play a game, I know that just now the Massive Man was in the chat. I don't know if you are available in game. You are. There we go. I suggested him into the party, although you may actually want to... I think right now he's getting... Yeah, there we go. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, you just go ahead and create a game. He's like I think he's Master 2 Terran, right? Yeah, he is. So this is what we're aiming for. He's on the Austrian squadron, not to be confused with the Australian squadron. Austrians get very upset when you say that. Don't worry, I do live streaming. I've made that mistake.
Yep.
Alright. I'm the referee. 3, 2, 1, fight! Let's go. Let's see how he's gonna be able to do this. Loco, I lived in Australia. I can confirm people confusing us with Austria was annoying. It's a pretty similar name, right? It just kind of happens every now and then, I guess. Although there will always be these people that just don't know that there's two different countries called Australia and Austria, and they're very different. Right? In one they punch kangaroos, and the other one they wear lederhosen and yodel in the mountains. It's a different country entirely. Or I'm
Yep.
sorry, generalization. I'm sorry. I don't mean to upset anyone. Holy holy.
Do you still have the Chicken Man song?
Sorry? Oh, the chicken yodel song? Yes. With the Asian man who yodels
Yeah.
about chickens.
That's high-quality content.
This is great. That's quality production as well. It's quite impressive.
Yep.
Loco, I once saw an Australian yodeling in the mountains with his kangaroo friend. Okay. That sounds legit.
Did the kangaroo wear lederhosen though? That's the big question.
Try and find a lederhosen wearing kangaroo and then come back to me, okay? Like. No, kangaroos are pretty terrifying animals, I've heard. Apparently they can quite literally, if they kick you in your stomach, their legs will come out on the other side. they're pretty strong. They're pretty strong. You don't wanna get in trouble with a kangaroo. Even though they look really cute, they're kind of terrifying. I guess they're like 2 meters tall as well, right? So I guess that's kind of menacing on its own. Which league am I currently in with Terran and TOS? I think my Protoss is probably Master 2 and Terran probably Master 3. I mean, random right now, we're right on the edge of Master 2 and Master 3. It's a little tricky. I don't know precisely. I don't really play these specific races. I either play Zerg or random right now, which I've been finding really enjoyable.
A new queen has emerged.
A new queen has emerged. Cool. Master Man is actually, I've played him quite a bit on ladder. He's actually really good. He used to be Master 1 for quite a long time. Overlord.
Is wildfire. Our drones kindling.
Nice. Nice, alright. Now we know exactly what's up. At least I'm assuming you know, right? Don't lose the first Overlord. Cool. Okay, let's go for the third base. I think we can get it.
Yep.
And remember the Evo chambers right around 200 gas is also a good option here.
Okay.
Just so you can start at 1-1 right away.
We have evolved. Now we collect.
Nice. Good snipe there. That was really good. Okay, drone. So it's gonna be the 60 marine drop, obviously.
Yep.
So as long as you deal with the aggression and start making units around 430, should be in a great spot. I would like to see some creep threat. Yeah, exactly. That's good. I do want to start at 1-1 as well.
Yep.
Cool. Now there are some new variations to this build where they send like a third medevac with it as well, which is kind of weird. Sometimes they switch into mine drops and whatnot as well. So I would recommend going for a lair as well when you notice you can afford it.
Okay.
Just in case, because there's like some weird follow-ups that people have been doing. I don't really know exactly why. So you should be here right around 5 minutes 20. Oh, well, there, medevac on the minimap. Perfect.
Yep.
I would probably start up more queens and bring the queens over as well, just so you can snipe them. Solid try it down. I don't think you want to engage here necessarily, though. It's kind of a waste of units. Yeah.
Yep.
If you don't have to, you don't need to engage. He was kind of hoping for that. Yeah, essentially you make the units defensively, and you don't really want to take an engagement unless you know you can win it like that.
Okay.
All right, all good now. Just gotta start making the rounds. Touchy was good, right? He's not really missing a beat so far.
Yep.
Okay, so best way to catch up is definitely making drones once again.
A new queen has emerged.
Nice, that was really well done. Good trigger there. If you need to, definitely bring over the other queens as well. Like, there's a bunch of queens in the main right now. Yeah, just put them on the same hotkey and use them for fights as well. I feel like they would have been able to change the tide here a little while ago.
Okay.
Definitely, I put all my hotkeys on this, or all my queens on the same hotkey. I don't know if you wanted to go that far, but I really like that. I know some people don't though. Okay, solid droning there. So right now, you know, he's only just now going for a third base, right?
Yep.
So you still have definitely a good chance here. Do you go Hydroling Bane or do you go Mutiling Bane?
Mostly Hydroling Bane and
Okay.
just quick hive.
Cool. Alright. Time to get our money low. Get a macro, or rather, get the macro back up. Loco, how do I get better at macro? I'm boot league macro. The only way you're gonna get better at macro is by playing the game a ton. Everyone starts off being awful at macro, and the only way you're gonna get better is just by playing a lot. If you play 10 games a day, you'll become a far better player within a month. There's no quick way to get better at macro. Like, that's literally the game. Like, you gotta like get good at the game in order to get good at macro. Solid response time there. Really nice. Okay. Do we have a Bane Nest? Ugh. Yeah, we're gonna need a Bane Nest, I'm afraid. Nice. If you can, you probably want to set up a surround if you plan on engaging this. So you probably want to come down from the ramp with Zerglings on the other side, because otherwise you're gonna like funnel down like crazy. Yeah.
Mutation complete. Essence good. A new queen has emerged.
Very good.
They strike swarms under
Oh, oh. "10 games a day, Loco. My parents won't allow that." I mean, my parents wouldn't really want me to get 99 agility in RuneScape either, but I played a lot. They were very strict about it, man. I was very creative at times. times of playing. Yeah, this is gonna be a tricky one. He's playing this really slow.
Yeah.
He's playing it smart though. So he's currently at 150 supply. He's been like really far ahead in supply the entire game. I feel like this mostly came back from the point where the Zerglings were sacrificed to the Blood God.
Yep.
Yeah, so versus the 60 Marine drop, you definitely want to like use the Zerglings really defensively. He's just gonna slow push right now. You can try and slam it, which is one option. You could probably hit that. Yeah. He's just gonna slowly maneuver his way up the ramp. I think there's another thing that you will probably notice a lot more in Master League than in like Diamond League. This is like a really patient like push.
Yeah, like in Diamond they would have just like stimmed in already. And I probably could have won. But yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He's playing it really slow and steady. That was a good game. Alright, you wanna do one more?
Yep.
Cool.
Yep, sure.
Wait, you telling me RuneScape Mobile is coming out this year? Oh, don't tempt me, Gold Bagel. Don't tempt me. I've played that for like 7 years. Full time. Full time, as in like 80 hours a week. My parents limited my my computer time by about... They wanted me to only play about 90 minutes a day. Which coincidentally didn't work out. Now, truth be told, I didn't like mess up in school or whatever. I was still passing all grades just fine. Never really failed anything there, so, you know, I just, they were just like, alright, well, whatever. I guess we should, like, try and be good parents and not, like, you know, make our child play video games the entire day, but...
Yep.
Just got our Runok. Good to see you, man. You called me Lockwo? No, Loco, guys. Loco. I think a lot of people though, like when I was like in like, I don't know, high school I guess, or secondary school, whatever you call it, right? I was really bothered by the fact that my parents were like always trying to limit my gaming time, but in retrospect, right, if I were to have kids that would just sit on the fucking computer all day, I would probably try and limit that in one way or another as well, right? It's just, you know, especially if you don't have anything with computers, right? Like it's just, my parents didn't really know, like they were just, alright, computers fine. Video games, I guess cool, but sitting on the PC the entire day, it's probably not a good idea. I think that's just parents trying to be good parents though. Can't really blame them at this point. In retrospect, I feel very grown up saying that right now, but it really bothered, it bothered me so much for so long. You actually shift queued the spray command. Loco, my grandpa used to unground me and make me game in front of my mom. Dude, that's what I would do as well if I had, you know, grandkids. Right? It's very different, I think, to have grandkids as it is to have normal kids. Because, you know, when grandkids go home, you know, you don't have to bother with them anymore. They're gonna go home, man. It'll be like a week. Whereas if you gotta deal with it every day, it's gonna be a little different. Anyway, the original question was, can you get Grandmaster if you start playing today? Yes, you most definitely can. But you gotta keep in mind, the guys in Grandmaster right now are playing a lot, right? If you're gonna catch up to guys that are playing 6 hours a day, you gotta make sure you play 6 hours a day as well at the bare minimum, right? But I don't think you necessarily need to aspire to become a Grandmaster level player. Like, it's cool to have a goal like that, right? But it's very hard. Like, it's not easy.
Yep.
When did you start playing Nuke? Do you know? Do you remember? Do you remember Nuke? Nuke is microing.
New subscriber detected.
But Loco, it's my B-day. Give me a shout for 5 months.
Okay, Brett, thank you very much for the 5-month resub, sir, and happy birthday. That's awesome. Congratulations. Thank you, sir. Happy birthday. It's actually my birthday pretty soon. I'll be 15 soon. Right, let's try and see if we can go up to like 5 queens by default. I think 5 queens is a good number.
Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Mosey.
We have evolved. Now we collect.
Very good. Solid. Okay, we do have Nematized Carapace, so if you can find the APM for it, I think it'd be worth flying in an Overlord. Yep.
Creep tumor is under attack.
Let's bring the queens over instead, yeah. Cool. Now we made 9 roaches, that should be more than enough. I think right now it's key to like go back to droning.
Okay.
Just spread them out all over the place. Like you don't have to have them all in one clump. Like a couple there, couple there, couple there. Should do fine.
Uh-huh.
Finally, I found it.
Thank you, Xruba, for the 500 bits there. You found it. Thank you, sir. Very generous.
Is under siege.
Okay. Okay. Continue the drones. Continue the drones. Okay, so he managed to kill 14 workers in total. Now that's not like unturnable anymore, right? Like that's at least still doable. Just gotta keep at it with the practice and the. Ideally, we lose none, obviously, but like this is totally something you can come back from right now. So let's go get the Hydro Den, get the Baneling Nest. Start up 1-1 if you haven't already, and put the drones in the natural back to mining soon. Oh.
Base is under attack. Swarm is under siege.
Alright, so that's 2 Widow Mines hurt quite bad. Yeah, I was gonna say, good, wow, good timing there. Very good timing. You look at the clock, or?
Nope. That was intuition.
Nice. Oh, that's good. It's better. Alright, so let's do the same thing as you do in ZVP then, right? Like in this scenario, you probably can drone and die. Drone or die is probably your best option. So if he does a timing attack right now, you may be in trouble. Ideally, you don't want to lose that much, but then again, you gotta come up with a win condition every now and then.
Yep.
Keep the drones, keep the drones. Yeah. Watch the 4th base. Don't want to lose the 4th. Don't want to lose the 4th. Bring the queens in as well if you need to. Like, the queens are really good at shutting this down. Yeah, exactly. All right. So from here on out, you can come up with a couple of timing pushes that can potentially still win you the game. There we go. Okay, Approach Hydra is definitely a good option.
Swarm is under siege.
Okay. Yeah, so one of the more options definitely is to just go ahead and make non-stop units right now. And push right when 1-1 finishes. Basically, like, whenever you're in, like, a situation where things don't work out perfectly, just come up with a win condition and just try and go with it. It's like, it's probably one of the biggest tips of winning when the game isn't going perfectly.
Complete. Mineral field exhausted.
I'm glancing over at the chat. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Alright, nice. Very good. Let's move some drones from the main. Yeah, cool.
Base is
He's abusing the terrain so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, if your creep spread is not down there, this becomes such a scary push. Yeah, I think he's just a little bit too strong for now, but that's fine, right? It's just a matter of practice.
Yep.
Yeah, it's totally worth your time
I
as well if
actually
you want to like, play a bunch.
never seen a Terran push from there with tanks.
Yeah, it's one of those like
Seems
pro
pretty good.
gamer strats. Like, it's actually really sick because you can hit the mineral line in that little nuke from that little nuke.
Yeah,
Sorry, bad one. You can like hit the mineral line from the one siege tank in the corner. If you bring like what's it called, a liberator with it as well, it becomes so powerful. Like, it's actually really, really strong. But yeah, this game was just like, it were a couple of drones here and there, right? And it added up to like 30 workers lost near the ending of it. He just harassed a little bit too strong. Anyway, dude, I don't know if you had any questions or anything whatsoever.
No, not for now. Not for now.
Cool, cool. Well, you know where to reach me. If you got anything, let me know.
Yep.
And other than that, thanks for the games, dude. Talk to you soon, okay?
Yep. Thanks. Bye.